Aston Martin reportedly spent $200 million over 5 years to bring Adrian Newey, one of the most legendary designers, over to their team. However, it's looking like at the start of this season, they're not even going to be able to finish a race. Welcome back to Don't Crash Course, the series where I tell you everything you need to know to keep up to date with Formula One. With the new regulations being implemented this season, we knew that it was already going to be a pretty open field when it came to competition. While there were a lot of conversations about who would be in the front of the grid this year, all we really knew is that everything was changing. However, Aston Martin was in a lot of those conversations because of a lot of the investment that they had made into becoming a front-running team. They made the decision to pretty much completely revamp things, bringing over Adrian Newey, making him team principal for the first time in his career, and also changing their power unit supplier to Honda. With those changes, it looked like what they were doing was taking over a lot of what made Red Bull so successful and trying to implement it in their own camp. But it's already looking like it may have been too many things changed all at once. We already saw some red flags when it came to preseason testing. Aston Martin had some of the fewest laps actually logged during preseason testing in Bahrain, and in those laps, a number of them were slower than the newest team to the grid, Cadillac. Ahead of the Australian Grand Prix, which will open up our season on Sunday, Aston Martin and Adrian Newey have stated that they will not be able to finish the entirety of the race itself. The issue seems to be a large amount of vibrations that are coming from the Honda power unit. Those vibrations are being picked up by the chassis and causing a number of issues across the car. Adrian Newey said that it's caused both the taillights and the mirrors to fall off of the car, but the biggest issue is definitely the amount of vibrations that are being transferred to the drivers themselves. Fernando Alonso said that the vibrations in the steering wheel are so bad that he believes they will be risking permanent nerve damage in their hands if they drive the car for 20 to 25 laps at a time. And Adrian Newey has confirmed that this is a massive issue and that they'll have to limit the amount of laps they put into the car until they fix it, which means that unless a miracle happens, we will likely go to the Australian Grand Prix, see both of the Aston Martins start the race, and voluntarily retire before they hit that mark where it's going to be dangerous. While Adrian Newey has said that he still believes that later in the season they could be fighting at the front of the pack, it's a little hard to understand how that's possible. But what I think is most interesting about this move in particular is that what we're essentially seeing Aston Martin try to do is basically take the talent from a team that was winning championships and implement it in their own garage. But we also saw very quickly that Adrian Newey was kind of butting heads with the previous team principal, and he ended up taking over that role, which is a role he's previously never had. And I do think disappointing is probably an understatement when we talk about the start of the season for Aston Martin. But personally, it seemed like they were kind of assembling a little bit of a dream team when it came to Formula One. I was hopeful that with the regulation changes and with Adrian Newey having a new challenge, we would see Aston Martin fight at the front, which seems like something they should be able to do. But ultimately, I don't think we're going to see that. While things may change throughout the season and maybe Adrian Newey will pull off a miracle, it almost seems like Aston Martin's season is falling apart before it even starts. Which team do you think is going to be at the front of the grid this season?